La vecinita del frente buenamente se ha fijado cómo camina la gente cuando sale del mercado. La vecinita del frente buenamente.
Hello and welcome to the Dave Perez Show. God, it seems like I've been doing this all night, but I'm having fun. Today I'm going to have very special guests who are near and dear to my heart, only because we're one big happy family. It's from a web series that's being shot here in Chicago, and I'm just going to start introducing them right away so we can get on with this. We have Fad, who is the director and everything else, filmmaker and all the above, producer. Orlando.
Yes.
And he is my son in the web series.
Yes.
I gave it away. I'm in it too.
Yeah.
And my daughter, who is ironically my daughter in the web series, and I'm the dad that they don't want to really claim as their dad. But welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I'm going to start with Fed because I'm going to let you tell them the name of the web series and a little bit about it itself.
Okay. The web series is Untitled The Web Series. It starts off with we filmed season 1 already, and it starts off with main character Lasia. She's going through a bit of a rough time. She's lost her mom. Her dad's not there in her life. Her sister betrays her the worst way, and she had a terrible breakup with her ex. She's a bisexual woman. She starts dating this new guy, and her ex-girlfriend comes in and sabotages everything. So,
Wow. I was going to say that's my life story up to the bisexual woman. But hey, that's okay. I could do that too. Hello, I could do that too. But yeah, it was unique. It was unique when the auditions came around, and I remember Maria and I went there, and I auditioned for other role, and then ended up getting Victor, the father. But it was really cool. The dynamics we went to the premiere. You showed up. You were there.
Yeah.
And it was neat. It was fun to see. It was
Yeah, a lot of fun.
And you're playing my son.
Yes.
So you better behave, or there's no tacos or burritos or whatever we eat for you.
No, not tacos.
Not again, Dad. Or turkey bacon.
No, but yes, I play Victor, and Fad here, lovely Fad, gave me the opportunity to be a part of this, and it's been a lot of fun. Like she said, we filmed season 1 already, so that was kind of my first feature role. So her seeing something in me, so I'm just gonna go with it. No, but it's a lot of fun. It's very relatable to what's going on. As far as the characters and the different personalities in the roles, so it's just a lot different.
It's
it
fresh.
Really is, and I'm just waiting to start season 2. So
yeah, and it was the different levels of characters. It wasn't boring. I mean, everyone had their own little, and which most movies should have. Mm-hmm. But. For the part that I was in, I mean, they always say there's no such thing as a small role, small actors, and I totally disagree. There are small roles, but this wasn't one of them for me. I truly enjoyed it, and I've known you for a little bit anyway.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm glad we finally get to work together.
Yeah, it's funny. He actually came to speak to one of my acting classes that I was in, and I approached him just asking him about the business, because I was very fresh. I still am very fresh. It's my third year acting and doing projects. So I just approached him, and I was like, hey,
I remember
being Latino too. You gotta stick together. Just asking him about the industry, roles and stuff like that, and then coincidentally, he's playing my father now on the web series. So I was like, hey, I remember you.
That'll be okay. And I have my daughter, who is my daughter, on the show, and tell us your character, other than being a brat to me and a brat to him, because them two always fight. You guys gotta take it easy, okay?
I play Veronica.
Okay. See, I don't see a Latina Veronica, but there's some Veronicas. I see you as a Maria, but you're... So anyway, Veronica, I'm sorry. Veronica, okay, and a little bit about your character.
For me, it was actually refreshing because it was actually one of my bigger auditions I went on. So going with my dad, it was actually very fun to audition for this role. And finding out that I was playing like real life with my father, it was very neat. It was very neat to see the first season, how it came on, and our connection, us three, how we worked together, and I can't wait for season 2.
Yeah, you know, one of my actors' reels is of scene. The one we had together. I have a bit of it in there. And I remember, Fad, you were in Elmhurst taping one scene by the house in the park, and you know, I was playing with Bella, your daughter, my granddaughter, and it was really neat to go all through all that stuff. Now, season 2. I know there's things coming up for season 2. We're starting that pretty quick. So we got revised to play our same roles. And everyone happy with that?
Oh yeah.
Come on, high five
definitely
it. High five it. High five it. Come on. You know, and she knows. She believes in us. She believes in us.
Yeah.
I'll pay her that $50 later. Anyway, season 2 is going to continue naturally from the end of season 1. We can't really say much about it, I'm sure, because you know that's just how it is. How do you? I'm going to go from the very beginning. How did you get started in filmmaking?
Okay, so I do acting, as well, and it just kind of like made me want to go behind the scenes and help out us independent actors, because what I did notice is that a lot of times you work with directors or producers or projects and you never see the end product, and you never see the end product, you never get that footage. So that made me want to, take the next step and make a project so that, actors can get the tools that they need to, be even better than independent actors, maybe a union actor one day. But that's what inspired me to do it. So I kind of, took a series of short stories that I had on my blog that I wrote, just as therapeutic, things that, therapy. Can't think of the word right now, but yeah, so I took those stories and I just kind of added to it, maybe cut out some parts and just, created this series.
That's neat. And it's, I was talking to another producer, director, and filmmaker on an episode previous, Jesse Domingo, and he brought up the fact of investors. In order to make a project, you need the money.
Yes.
And we spoke a little bit about that. I've got to do another show with him because there was so many other questions I wanted to ask.
Yes.
You're a newer filmmaker.
Yes.
So you're at the stages where he was years ago, learning the process.
Yes.
So the funding is the hardest part of it,
so
because
difficult.
you got to make your insights and your dreams come to film, come to life, but you need the investors or the money to do that.
Yeah.
And that's got to be the hardest part, unless you have a lot of volunteers that can volunteer things, that could say, hey, can you please lend me your iPhone?
Please.
But it's amazing because some people make movies today with iPhones and they can edit it and they can do 4K type stuff, which I personally, 4K, I don't know. I much just stay with HD, because who has 4K TV anyway?
Right.
So, but it's neat that, now you're starting to do your filmmaking. Did you go to school for any of this?
Actually, no. I went to school for psychology.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to school for psychology.
Well, you're making a good movie for it, so.
Right.
At least for the dad, I don't know.
For sure.
Yeah, but that I originally went, but I've always loved acting and filmmaking. So I just, thought one day, I'm gonna go for it,
Yeah.
You only live once.
Yep.
I don't want to waste any more time, so I'm just gonna go for it.
See, you sound like another person I had in an episode previously too, Jenna Zuman. She's an inspirational coach and speaker, and motivational speaker, and we had that conversation. Hey, man, at some point in life, you got to just say to yourself, "This is what I love."
Yeah.
And if you don't be, like my age, 35, and wonder. Oh, did I check that out? So, and don't look back. Don't look back because, I could have been doing this 2 decades ago and have it be further where, or, what, if I wasn't, so what, I tried.
Yeah.
I mean, your dreams are only as far as you think they're going to go. You gotta work hard on them.
Yeah.
So, and you're getting there. I know you're getting there. And I know, we met, like you said,
Yeah,
and I remember you coming
where I
up.
started.
Yeah. Excuse me, Mr. Perez. I'm a Latino like you. And
I
I'm like,
sounded just like that too.
really? No.
Good
You're,
morning. I'm not a morning person. No, unless it's for a job.
there you go.
But yeah, that's where I started. Well, actually, I started.
What got you
behind the
into
scenes.
acting?
Well,
What started you with acting?
what started me with acting was I actually started behind the scenes. I went to school for TV and radio broadcast.
Okay.
So I did
Where'd
behind
you
the
go,
scenes
if you don't
stuff.
mind me asking?
I
if you
went
wanna
to
say?
the Illinois Media School. Well, that's
Okay.
what it's called now.
You know what? I think I remember you saying that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So that's where I started, and that's where I kind of was like, I knew I wanted to be in the industry, whether
Yeah.
it was it was more behind the scenes. And
Gotcha.
then, as we would do projects in class, everybody would be like, well, you should be in front of the camera. But I wasn't ready to be in front of a camera. Like, I wasn't confident
Okay.
enough. So then, after graduating and all that, doing a couple behind the scenes jobs and projects, I just went for it. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to start acting.
Gotcha.
So got my first little extra role, speaking role, in a short film called Fetch, which was a lot of fun. Got to get a little out of my character, had to play a drunk homeless guy, so it kind of
That was me last weekend.
that was my very first role ever. So
Wow.
since then, that's when it was like, okay, I love
Okay.
doing this. I'm gonna keep doing this.
Yeah.
So since then, and then
Oh,
she cast me in the
Yeah.
web series, and since then I've done projects here and there. I did a commercial. I'm working on a short film in April. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and that's pretty much the gist of how I got started.
and I could tell them why, because I'm going to ask you the same thing, because I have known you since you were, I don't know, about this high. But, so anyway, let me let you just say, how did you get started in your career of acting and singing, which they don't know you sing, but she was a singer.
Yeah, I started when I was 12. I was a very shy and quiet kid, so I was obsessed with the Disney Channel. One day I walked up to my parents saying, I want to be on the Disney Channel. I want to do what they do. So they signed me up for acting and singing classes at Maywood Fine Arts. My first play, I remember, we did The Wizard of Oz, and one of the kids got sick. So my dad filled in for, I think it was the Lion or the Tin Man.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
and that's when I actually started falling in love with it and realizing that my dad and I have something special when we do work together. So from then on, I just kept on working, kept on trying to build up my confidence. In high school, I mainly did behind the scenes acting. I wasn't very confident in high school, so I worked behind the camera. Then right after high school, I had my daughter, took a little bit of a break. Then I came up to my dad again and my mom, telling them I want to get back into this. This was my dream. I don't want to give it up because I'm a mom now. So I signed up for an acting school. Did that for a while. I also wanted to get into some plus size modeling. So through that school, I got some plus size modeling work in. From when I graduated from there, I got some extra work. And then I auditioned then for FAD. So it was a long ride to where I'm at right now.
The condensed version of everything, yeah, it was
Yes.
neat. And I want to bring back on our first gig together.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the lobby of the acting school, and they came out and they go, Mr. Perez, the person's sick. Can you read lines for that person? So I'm like, yeah. So I read the lines, and they called me that night saying, would you like to play that role because the person's sick and won't be able to? So I'm like, yeah, sure. It was The Wizard of Oz. I played the Cowardly Lion. You played the Tin Man. And my nephew, your cousin, played the Scarecrow. And that kind of bit me in the butt about wanting to do this, being an actor and such.
Yeah.
And then a real quick story, because this isn't about me, it's about you guys, but this is about you. I had a short film we were doing in the city, 12 Angry Americans, from the classical movie, 12 Angry Americans. So my daughter's like, yeah, I'll sit and watch you guys, whatever. I'll hang out with you today, Dad. So we get down there, and the person comes up, and they go, God. I go, what's wrong? We got 11 Angry Americans. One person, lived farther away. The car broke down and couldn't get there. And we rented a courtroom in the downtown Chicago area, a courtroom to film 12 Angry Americans, the court scene, and then the deliberation setting. So I'm like, well, my daughter's an actress, So he goes, cool, come here. Here's the script. You're whatever, 8. And she's like, oh, okay. So, but you know what? I give you credit for that because she pulled it off excellent. You pulled it off excellent. I'm talking like she's not here. And it was really cool to sit next to my daughter at that time. And we're shooting a scene in the courtroom. And, the director is giving us stuff to do. And we're having our, as jurors, we don't have lines. Because we're jurors. I was in Proven Innocent, and I was juror number 6 in one episode. And a person goes, oh, do you have any lines? No. Jurors don't have lines. Right. Kelsey came up and asked me questions, but I couldn't say, yeah, man, let's go back to cheers. I'm kind of thirsty, We couldn't do that. But anyway, we had lines, and then we went to the deliberation room, and it was cool because they shot each one at a time. You know how they do, the POV shots over the shoulders and stuff. And you pulled it off like a trooper, There's guys that they look at their scripts and memorize the lines, and you knew it, and I was proud of that. I never said that before, but I was very proud of you. So,
and good thing I carry my makeup with me everywhere I go.
She texted me out.
I didn't have no makeup on, but luckily I carry my big makeup bag everywhere.
Yeah. And I remember, like I said earlier, and I don't remember exactly what I said, but I just said, hey man, if you have your dream, go for it,
Yeah.
But you got to go for it. It ain't going to come to you.
Yeah. That was like kind of like a kickstart for me. I was like, you're right. You're right. Yeah. What am I waiting for? So.
Hey man, no one can say no to you but you.
Yeah, I didn't care what anybody thought. I just went for it.
You get 100 no's for one yes. So
that's true.
And you got to just deal with it, But and you. Oh my God! Other than the web series itself, any other? I know it. I remember last season. Oh my God!
Oh man!
Dave, don't text, don't call, don't send smoke signals. I will get a hold of you. And but you have a lot on your plate.
Yeah.
You go from start to finish.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like that. I have people. I have Janice Newman. I'll say it again.
Right.
Working, producing the show. And other people, and it's easier. I do edit the show. I take it to post and I edit it myself because I want to learn those things.
Yeah.
So
really good
you
stuff.
started on that side and came here.
Yeah.
I started on this side and I'm working my way that side because I think once you have a grasp of everything.
Yeah, like full circle.
Yeah. Then you can. I think it makes you a better actor too.
Yeah.
You take direction a lot better, and you're focused a lot more because the people behind the camera, the director, and the editor, and everything. It's God.
Yeah.
So I knew it had to have been a lot on you.
Oh yeah.
And she does it all.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
she wrote it,
Oh,
she produced
man.
it, she directed it, she's camera, like.
Luckily, I got
like-
to get more people behind the scenes this season. Oh, thank goodness. I'll have more of a crew there present. I also, with my producers, I also have 2 producers that help me with decision making this time around.
Okay.
So it's like a little bit of relief because all of it being on one person it's a big headache.
Yeah, I saw it. And I'm not the type of person to bug the director or anybody anyway. I ask a lot of questions when I'm on set.
Yeah.
And then after that, I mean, you won't hear a peep from me other than, hey, how's the production side coming?
Right.
Because like you were saying, you know, you waited for stuff to come back. 12 Angry Americans that we shot 3 years or 2.5 years ago, we still haven't got that stuff back yet.
Wow.
And I email.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it's just, sometimes it's unfortunate, but, you know,
Yeah.
the feature film that we were in, you forgot about the feature film, Who Was Phone. You know, my granddaughter was in it as well, as
Yeah.
my sweetie was in it as well, and I played the father of the woman, my daughter being chased by an internet stalker. And that's about as much as I can give away because we can't tell a lot about it. But I'm waiting for that too. I mean, I'm waiting. I have a part of my scene. You probably, Fiona. I put it on YouTube and Facebook
Okay,
and
yeah,
stuff.
I
I'm
did
talking to my
see it.
daughter. You were never there and stuff. But it's rough. It's rough because I'm thinking about doing short films this summer because I've got a production company too.
Okay.
Well, I say a production. I'm staffed to put on short films.
Right.
I got the equipment, but there's so many other acting things that I do that I don't have the time to invest, and I don't want to start putting all those on my plate.
Right.
You know, because then I'd much rather do, you know, I mean, SAG job, or not SAG, but, you know,
Right.
where you're getting paid a lot of good money. And I would like to also do my own, like you started, like I'm going to do this. I want to do that too. I want to create something and say, here's what I've done. You know, I have the Dave Perez Show variety show, which I'm doing talk show and otherwise, but I have actually written the Dave Perez Show as a sitcom originally, and I have the draft for it still.
Well, if you need someone to play your son.
Well, I'll tell you what, I got a daughter, so I mean, but on a wig, you might look like her. You know? You can play the boyfriend.
Whatever it is.
Well, I'm just
I'll do
saying,
it.
you know, just got to watch out though. You know, I carry a shotgun. So, other than the web series, would you ever be interested in doing or more than just the web series itself, like short films, or do you want to get on this? Well, you're on this side of the camera with the web series too.
Yeah.
So not just you just don't write it, produce it, direct, and all.
Yeah.
You also act in it.
On this, on the camera side version of it too. Yeah, and I did give my character a little bit more screen time this season, but yeah. But to answer your question, I am interested in like networking and maybe you know, being affiliated with other productions. Like right now, I also act in this film series called Confusion. It's like more of like horror, thriller, supernatural, witches, vampires, werewolves, things of that nature. And with a producer and a director and creator on that side, I've been talking to him more and been helping him write a film. It's actually like a horror thriller, a little bit of comedy in there. So that's as much as I can say, but I've been helping him with that. And yeah, I do have a few films that I have started writing just outside of Untitled that I do want to, once they're completed, put into production, because what I'd like to see with that is I'd like to see those go to film festivals. So I have my hands on a lot of things.
You know, I've always believed in paying forward. You know, whatever good graces I've had, you know, I try to push forward for other people. You know, like going to school and talking and trying to give them an insight. You know. I've had other people ask, you know, how do I become an actor? I'm like, don't. It's unless you really love it. You know, don't become a doctor unless you really love it. Don't become a pilot unless you really love it. You know, but this isn't something that's glamorous. You know, I mean, it really isn't. It's. I mean, it is glamorous for your individual self. Because when you see the final project, like, wow, that's really cool. I like that. But yeah, It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Where would you like to go after the web series? I mean, are you 100% focused on acting? Because I know you've had other things too, other than acting. So we've got a few minutes. So I want to get like the do's and don'ts of this. You do want to be an actor.
want to continue acting. I still, want to act just to build my craft and build my experience, especially since I'm more new to the industry. So I definitely want to, take on as many different roles to kind of challenge myself and really test the waters and see, what I'm comfortable with, what I'm not comfortable with.
Yeah.
Which at this point I'm comfortable with anything. I don't
Amen.
really care. But it's a lot of fun. And like you said, you really have to have a passion for it. And life gets in the way sometimes. But as long as you're consistent and you have that fire to keep going, then
Awesome.
It'll always be there.
Yeah. Your turn. Your turn, Veronica.
With me, I would always, I think, want to do acting. It was a passion of mine. I don't mind that if it's going to be a small role or a big role. I know that I could make my character something. So for me, it's fun. I enjoy it.
I'd always say just keep doing what you love to do, and whatever comes out of it, I tell you what, you won't have stress, you won't have headaches. I turn to acting to relieve me of that, honestly. Yeah. And I'll say it to both of you, and I'll say it if you want to be an actor too. Audition, audition, audition. Yeah. Remember, I said those three: audition, 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 audition 5 times in 2 weeks. Well, yeah, but what about if I get one? Well, okay, what about if you don't? Yeah. I'd much rather turn down a role because I got a role than to audition once a month and say I can't get a role. Right. I mean, I've got 2 auditions this week, and if I want, I'll probably have 2 more next week. So it's
just putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
You can't accomplish something if you don't try, at least.
Absolutely, I totally agree. You got to, the more you're out there, the more people see you, and the more you get out of it. So, God, I got to wrap this up. It's been great, and I'll say what I said in the past interviews. Another half hour would have been great. But we're going to look more for Web Series 2 coming up this summer. Yes. And I'm going to have you on the show again for the end of that series. But I got to get going. This is Dave Perez Show once again, and thank you for showing up. I'm going to have great interviews to come in the coming weeks, as well as sketch comedies. Maybe I'll get you guys out to do a sketch comedy. I know I'll get you out. I might get you guys out. Out. So thank you for showing up to another episode. God bless and be good.
Sí, agarra. Salsa mulata. Ay, mamita, camina, anda. Sale un poquito para acá. La vecinita del frente buenamente se ha fijado cómo camina la gente cuando sale del mercado. La vecinita del frente buenamente se ha fijado cómo camina la gente cuando sale del mercado. La mujer de Antonio, camina así, míratelo.